morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Fulani. It's drizzling slightly in Lagos, southwest of the country, where we're broadcasting from. So everything is sort of cool, you know. It's a break from the heat. And when you remember that power, you can't take it for granted anywhere. So I guess there's that positive to the, you know, hazy, drizzling kind of atmosphere we have. However, let's move on to serious business. Over in Kogi State, I believe it is, INEC has accused Governor Yahaya Bello of double registration. It's a very, very serious, you know, matter ordinarily. But INEC says the governor has immunity. As for our staff that participated in the whole exercise of irregular registration, because one, you can't register more than once. Two, there are designated places where you can where you should register when you're going to register. And I think on those two counts, INEC has issues. But let's look at this and see what exactly is going on. Why would anybody register twice, especially such a high-profile person as a governor? It must be that he forgot. Maybe he forgot that he registered back in 2011. And, you know, I don't know, but my guest probably will have some ideas about it. All efforts to reach into the State House, to speak with the governor, speak with his chief press secretary, well, they've been abortive so far. Chukwuemeka Eze is a lawyer and financial analyst. He also keeps a very keen eye on the polity, not just financial matters. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you. I keep an eye on you.
And Barrister Tunde, no, scratch Barrister Tunde. Tunde Kolawole, Mr. Tunde Kolawole, because the lawyers have told us, give us a break with all this barrister matter. Okay, Mr. Tunde Kolawole, he's a lawyer and public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir, and thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning to all of viewers out there.
Indeed, my pleasure. Let me kick this off with you, Emeka. My speculation is that, look, such a high-profile person as a sitting governor would not make lightly the mistake of registering twice. There's no place to hide. You're right up there. So he must have forgot that he registered in 2011, and then there's this faux pas of registering again, whereupon INEC now pounces. I can't think of another reason. How do you see it?
I don't think the matter is as the mirror you are looking at it, I think, is the wrong mirror.
I see.
I think this governor has had something similar to this controversy, where when he was coming, some people said he was not a voter in Kogi State, and I think he wants to ride that, knowing that he will go for second term. So having registered in Wuse Zone 4 earlier on 30th January 2011, he feels, oh, we don't have a perfect system. I can register again and nothing will happen. You know, there's impunity in the land. You say one thing and do another. In any case, beyond violation, in fact, his action is a gross violation of the Electoral Act of 2010 as amended in 2011. Section 10, subsection 2 of that act provides that you, in the continuous registration exercise, you have to present yourself physically at the venue where the exercise is taking place with something to identify yourself.
And it will be a designated venue. There are designated venues.
Only a local
you can't have somebody
headquarters.
They can't come to your office.
For him to turn the government house to a local government headquarters by fiat, it shows the level of impunity, and it shows that it will take time before we can get the electoral system, to an optimal state. But one thing is good enough for the first time that INEC publicly indicted a sitting governor. This is not the only governor that has committed an electoral offense in all our years of democracy.
Let me hear from Tunde then. Emeka has just debunked my forgetfulness theory. That no, it's a bit deeper than that. What's your take on this whole matter? Why would Emeka suggested that a sense of impunity, because the question I was going to ask is that why would a person as knowledgeable and as high profile as a governor commit this kind of a mistake? If people are not going to allow me to say that it was forgetfulness. By the way, do you agree that forgetfulness is a bit tall
It's extremely tall. It's an extremely tall one.
You put extremely.
Honestly,
Oh dear, you just debunked it again.
Exactly. I agree with Barrister Eze that...
I'm not Barrister.
Mr. Eze, my learned,
your learned colleague,
my learned colleague the political class have a culture of impunity in this part of the world. They always believe that they can ride a roughshod over the law. And why do I say this? There is a precedent already. You will remember that the person who ran with him, that is James Faliki, was also registered here in Lagos and had been voting in Lagos and other. And when he now decided to run as a deputy governor in Kogi State, he took all the necessary steps to transfer all these registration processes to Kogi State. So Yahaya Bello himself, even if he had registered, and we say before that time, he had seen the steps that were taken by James Faliki to relocate to Kogi State and then perfect all those processes. And the Electoral Act adequately provides that if you have been registered somewhere and then you want to transfer your registration to somebody else, and there's a provision for all of that. You make a deal, all the necessary applications to INEC and all that. That Yahaya Bello didn't do that. When in fact he saw people like James Faleke does that, tells you that, look, here is a man who has no respect for law. He's become too arrogant. He thinks that nobody is monitoring, nobody is caring, nobody at the end of the day might also discover this. But like you said, it would appear to me that INEC is also culpable in this, in the sense that you and I do know that millions of naira were voted for all these voters cleaning up exercise and other. And they said they had computerized any of this, and that if anybody had taken a step to do multiple registrations and other, that the computer has the capacity to detect some of this. So why didn't INEC at any time pick up all of that?
That's another question. To be very simplistic about it, everybody has an ATM card, you know what I mean. You're allowed to use it so many times in a day. So if it is 6, for example, you go ahead, and at the moment you try the 7th time, the system will say to you, can't be done. You've exceeded your limits. Why wasn't there something comparable in the INEC registration system, so that when the biodata was taken, it would have shown that you can't, this man cannot be registered because he's already on our system. It now took 2 days after that before some eagle-eyed INEC person.
Whistleblower.
Well, okay, maybe it's whistleblowing, because I'm wondering, the system didn't say it immediately, neither did INEC say it within the same day. So here we are now, and INEC is saying that, well, our man who was part of that exercise, he's undergoing disciplinary processes, but the governor, he's high and dry. We can't touch him because of the law.
Yes.
Immunity.
Yes, I think the political elite, they are yet to come to terms with clean elections. This country has not decided to have clean elections. That's why many things are done in hiding. For instance, at a collation point, they may not allow you to take pictures because there are things to hide. So, but by the time the political elite begins to allow for transparency in the electoral process, they will install such software that can detect all this. For instance, the political elite wouldn't want their money stolen in banks. So they will make sure that such software will exist in the banking system. But electoral robbery is the order of the day. So why should it be installed and detect all this? So, but besides, it shows you that the crack in APC in Kogi State is beginning to show the other face. Because the person who might have reported it to INEC might still be an APC person who does not want, who does not
yes,
it's a theory, it's a conspiracy theory.
It's a conspiracy theory.
Yes, so where is the whistleblower? Was it the INEC man that reported himself? Solomon Shoebi that issued the statement was not in Kogi State. The whole thing was reported. Who reported it to him? So to tell you that if, impunity thrives better when there is no crack in the political party.
Well, from that analysis, it's just as well we have a crack, since so that this is now out there. We're saying it's no more business as usual. And what is going on here, I don't know how well the governor, Mr. Governor, represented his party, APC, in pulling this kind of a stunt. I want to go further, but I've got to go on a commercial break. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Chukwuemeka Eze in the house, as well as Tunde Kolawole. And we're looking at the question of the double registration allegation against the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. He has immunity, so INEC says in a statement that they can't touch him. Their own man that was involved is indeed being processed. I think, let me just use the word processed internally. Now, happily, both of you are lawyers. This concept of immunity, let's go there once more. We have this situation on the ground. INEC is saying that immunity, we can't touch him. So what are we going to do? We, the people, we society that laws were made to govern. What can we do when we see a clear infringement of a law? Are we just going to say, well, that's the way it is? Because I wanted to be ridiculous and say, look, can I, because I'm an elected governor, go get me a gun somewhere and begin to rob all over the place as I want, knowing full well that I have immunity. So even if the 20 police see me, sorry, I have immunity. You know, that ridiculous example, I'm just trying to find out, so what can we do if we say he has infringed the law according to the allegation, and if proved to be so, what can we do?
Oh, honestly speaking, Uncle Yori, I'm one of those lawyers who strongly believe that there is no permanent or unquestionable immunity in the Nigerian Constitution under Section 308 of the Constitution thereabout. What we have there, honestly speaking, is a qualified immunity. But you see, we as Nigerians have a way of abusing whatever laws that we make for ourselves. If in the process, if in the circumstances in which we have found ourselves now, Yahaya Bello had committed an infringement during the election with all this multiple registration that he has done. What would have happened would have been either for INEC or some other person to have written a petition to the Kogi State Overall Assembly, and then the Kogi State Overall Assembly would have set up a committee to really investigate whether it is true that he indeed committed that crime. And if the findings of the committee is such that, then you will now put Yahaya Bello through an impeachment process. That would have happened. Okay. But ordinarily, we as a people, because most time, and because all the time, and all the states, all the different houses of assemblies are in the pockets of the governor, we have not been able to explore that possibility. So the immunity is not sacrosanct. It is not something that can be challenged. Okay. The process by which we can challenge and bring some of these people to book is already provided under the Constitution. That is the impeachment process. But we don't explore it.
I see.
Because of the circumstances in which we have found ourselves.
Emeka, do you agree that the only way out of this, if indeed everybody is interested in the way out of it, is through the State House of Assembly?
Sure. And that's why, politicians are proactive. Immediately a governor comes into power, the first firing shot is on the speaker. If the speaker will not become his slave, he will instigate. Well,
I understand what you mean. Will not cooperate.
Okay. He will instigate some members to impeach him. Until he gets a pliable speaker, there will not be peace in the House of Assembly. So, and the decimation.
Well, this is part continuing the conspiracy theory.
That is it.
Continuing it.
That is it.
It's a theory.
Yes, but it is not just a theory. This is reality. Politics is not played in theory. And we know this over the years. Now, if you read the case of Inokoju and Adeleke about Ladoja's impeachment or no impeachment, you will see the facts of that case and many other cases. All the cases of impeachment, the first target is House of Assembly. So basically, once you have weakened the House and made the House
more or less a rubber stamp house.
Rubber stamp. So a dock. So basically, the governor goes on a roller coaster nothing again, nobody to question the governor again. He can commit crime, he can do whatever he likes.
Well, I imagine the State House of Assembly is watching. The State House of Assembly might be watching this, and even if they're not, they have to have, you know, thought about this line of thinking that we have here, that, wait a minute, what's going on here? Even their own integrity is at stake.
They don't care about integrity. What integrity? That is always purchased.
But let's be fair to...
No, with due respect.
You know, you can't know that every assemblyman...
We can describe the situation in anecdotes.
Okay.
If you want us to go by way of parables, then we can be discussing the matter in parables.
Let me also add that this is not the first serious controversy that this man will be faced. You will remember there were serious allegations that even during the last election, he didn't vote for APC, his own political party, that he voted for the PDP because of the differences he thought he had with James Audu, who was contesting the election with James Falike at that period. But that matter was swept under the carpet. So if you were a candidate in an election, you didn't even vote for your party, you didn't vote for yourself and another. On what basis are you a governor over the Kogi State people? And then in addition to that, I always want to emphasize that peer review mechanism is even more important than all this taking the last resort, which is going to the law court and all that. You find out in this kind of in our society, we have not been able to, we are not exploring this process of peer review mechanism. In some other places and in some other crimes and all that, mere pressure from your own colleagues, politicians and all that, is enough for you to say, look, I'm throwing in a towel. Okay. A legislator in the United States of America was said to have taken the picture of his private part and then sent it to a girlfriend over via the internet. We don't know who leaked that to the press. Because he had been vehement in criticizing Clinton for for some of the things he did with Lewinsky. His colleagues in the United States Assembly, the Federal Assembly in the US, put pressure on him that he had to resign his appointment. Those are the kind of things I want to see. The court should be a last resort, not the way and manner we use it here. Because by the time you begin to use the court to resolve all crises and other, you are not only politicizing the court, you are also debasing it. And
I hear you. Chidi in Kaduna, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Uncle Yori and your guests. Good morning to you all.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my take on the discussion you people are having this morning, that goes to show that it is not only the governor of Kogi State that is in this game of double registration. But let me ask this question for the benefit of myself and so many others. For instance, somebody that has his CRV, that is permanent voter's card, right? Uncle Yori,
we can hear you. We can hear you.
I want to know if that person has relocated, probably in the same state, but from one polling booth to the other. How will that person effect to update his card so that in the next coming election, that person will be eligible to vote in his new domain? That is my question. Good morning.
Okay, thank you very much for calling in. I believe that Emeka touched on this in describing the situation with Mr. Faleke. But
he touched on it.
Yes, he touched on it. So would anybody like to take that question? How can somebody who has registered in one place, but the situation of his life...
guidelines provided
there are guidelines for this.
No, the guidelines
straightforward guidelines.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's in section 12(1) and 2 of the Electoral Act amended 2011 that when you are relocating, you apply to INEC. You will also attach I think copies of your old registration card.
Besides,
so it's a very simple matter.
At the commencement of this continuous voters registration.
If only people want to do the right thing. So it seems to be a very,
at the
very
commencement of
this
exercise, INEC issued guidelines. And it's one of those guidelines.
Mr. Joshua in Bidda, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to all the team of panelists.
Good morning,
sir.
I'm very happy watching your program every day.
Thank you very much.
I want to contribute this. How I wish I have the number of the two gentlemen that are on the table. I would have given them MTN 500 because they are just trying to speak even senses to the whole Nigerians. Because you discover that many people are in the crime or committing this type of fraud every day in all parts of this very nation. That is why even one of our presidents, ex-presidents, said there is a difference between corruption and stealing. What the governor has really done is stealing. I can classify it as typical sense of fraud. He has committed big fraud, and which he really needs to pay for. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much for calling in. I've got to go to a quick break. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and let's go straight to Mr. George Enikeja. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to the panelists.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, what you have in Kogi State is what you get when you try consciously to subvert justice and fair play. I think the APC leadership is to blame for this matter. We all know that the principle of having a deputy in any institution is to take over from the main principal if anything happens. They didn't allow that to happen. James Falike was thrown out after he contested with the governor that passed on. It was a wrong thing to do because somebody wanted to outdo somebody in the party. See the whole embarrassment it has brought to the APC party. They must take the blame. You can see the lackluster performance of this governor. I've been following the trend in Kogi State, and you see what is going on. The average Kogi person is angry with this governor. He's owing about the highest number of months to the workers in the state. And nothing is going on there. And that is why you see he doesn't care. He just feels he has godfathers who can put him there and he can do whatever he likes.
Indeed. There
is nothing that stops the State House of Assembly to institute the process of impeachment. If they fail to do it because they too are being manipulated, there are Kogi people. We know of some notable Kogi people who can, force them to do it. The law courts are there as well. This type of impunity should not continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. In Kogi, given how our political activity used to be, I guess Kogi right now, the State House of Assembly must be in a quandary. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. On the one hand, they'll be thinking about party loyalty, but this clearly is a mess. And I just don't have any idea beyond the House setting itself up into a committee to investigate the matter, but I don't know what to investigate. We don't forget, we don't have confirmation yet because they're saying alleged. INEC is alleging. So let's just stay on that lawyerly word, alleging.
Yes. When there is allegation, and that allegation has been put in writing, issued to the public, then the probability has gone beyond 50%.
Okay.
So even though it has not attained its zenith, its apogee. So be that as it may, the position when the name, you recall that House of Reps, Senate, they suspend people, that you want to tarnish their name.
Yeah.
Even no conviction, they just say, oh, I read in this paper. Somebody will bring a matter of national importance, urgent national importance, bring out a particular newspaper and say, so member was saying, he was interviewed. He said this. We know what happened to the Senate majority leader.
Yes.
So was it not alleged?
Okay. Let's see what Mr. Bello thinks. Ebele in Aja. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, brother.
Is that a lady?
I'm Ebele from Aja.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am.
Yes. Now, you see, the country has made a mess of their constitution and made a mess of this nation by, immunizing the governors. Why would the governors be immunized? And why would the president be immunized? Why do we do that? Now, you immunize a governor of a state. The chairmen are hiding under him. The councillors are hiding under him. And the ministers in this governance, they are hiding under him. He gives authority, and you immune him. Then who are you going to query if anything is going on? Now, this type of thing that is happening with INEC and the rest of them, it's not only Adeleke or whoever we are talking about now. It's about everyone that wants to win. They buy the INEC, they put them in their pockets. You know, and they just look. Even the police who are delegated to go to polling booths, they just sit and watch things go wrong, and they won't say anything because their mouth has been shut up and they are tied down. So what are we talking in this nation? We are not, we're just, it's like, I thank God for this, my young man that just said the truth. That if the governor, that what the governor does is succeeds in, you know, buying the whole house. And so that when anything is going wrong, they just keep quiet. How can this happen? We have some intelligent men and women in this country, and they are seeing these things. Those that have traveled out to see other countries and nations, how they behave to their citizens.
Thank you very much for calling in, Madam Ebele. There's the party itself, APC, this is not good for anybody, and especially for the ruling party in the state. So naturally, APC won't want to rush into any statement. They probably want to tidy things, cross their T's, dot their I's, and then come out with a statement. What should be the position of APC? Because don't forget that it's the change administration we're in. It's not supposed to be business as before. APC is choosing these people that they are putting forward. These things, these actions, alleged improper actions are happening. What should be the position of APC?
Well, if we take the antecedents...
Your first word was instructive.
Yes, if we take the antecedents
that was your first word.
all the different political parties into consideration.
Sure.
I have a strong suspicion that what they will simply want to do is to cover the tracks of the Kogi State governor. Most times they treat matters such as this as a family affair which they want to see.
No, but family affairs is the PDP preserve. It's PDP that has family affairs. Yeah. The APC doesn't have any family affairs yet.
Well, sometimes too, they also go in that direction.
Okay.
In the sense that you find out that so much has been invested in Kogi State and all that. And,
politically.
Politically. So to now kind of rock the boat, they might not want to do that.
But they've got to rock it all. Let me hear what Wale Bode in Jos wants to add to the conversation.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Mr. Bode, go ahead.
This is the corruption of the highest order.
Okay.
It's not for you to go to Ikoyi and go and pack money out that you say it's a corruption. This is a test for President Muhammadu Buhari government. Because when you look at INEC law, this is a crime that this man has committed. If this is an ordinary man now, they will pick him up. The man should be impeached and sample to order. How can you carry the INEC machine into the government house and you are registering yourself there? Do you want to tell us it's above the law? This is corruption. Please, we should stop this. The chairman of APC is not a chairman of a political party at all. That man is a disgrace to this nation.
Well, you have to be careful of your language. This is public television, but thank you very, very much for coming. Please moderate your language. It doesn't mean you can't be critical, but you can't be abusive. Thank you very much for your understanding.
Will you allow me
please
to approach it this way? Let me tell you my own understanding. This, our democratic experiment, will continue to wobble and fumble until the people become participants. What we have now is democracy for stakeholders, godfathers and godsons. I have said it over and over, that how can I belong to a political party and I don't pay monthly dues? Then you make choices of representatives, I don't participate. do you know what political members do? What party members do? They go to stakeholders' houses. Those stakeholders will take from the largest of the state, cook food, keep envelopes for them, and get musicians to be playing for them. They will be whiling away while the big heads will be taking the decisions that affect the people. The people do not participate in taking decisions in this democracy. And because of that, when these people behave or misbehave, they only look at godfathers, they don't look at the people. Don't forget, as soon as Bello came in fact, as soon as APC won the governorship election in Kogi State, there was a rumble in Kogi State House of Assembly. It did not settle until Bello got his man Friday as the speaker. So the same House of Assembly will now be investigating. So you want to urinate into the water you will drink.
Oh dear. Ishak in Jos. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to your guest. I'm Ishak Kaiwa, and I'm calling from Jos. Uncle Yori, I think APC got it wrong. I have, since the election Yahaya Bello last year, I've argued that this guy is not, if you watch his utterances and his antecedents, he is not mature politically and his display of riches. I believe APC leadership got it wrong because I believe they wanted to spite the noble who they believe was the godfather to Faleke. Faleke would have been the better option for Kogi. But if APC did not address it now, I still believe they will lose Kogi election in the next governorship election. I still believe it's never too late than ever. However, if the matter should be investigated, this is an electoral act, double registration, so that as soon as he left his office as governor, he should be prosecuted because I know he enjoys living as a governor. So that is my take.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Both of you could answer, but let me just ask one lawyer. This whole matter of immunity, and we understand what it's all about. It shields people from frivolous lawsuits and all of that. But is immunity like a blanket? I mean, if it's a crime, God forbid, I just want to know, murder is a crime. If it is if a governor, for example, shoots anybody and kills them, does immunity apply? I just want to know.
No, I think it does, and we have seen a precedent in that. I won't want to mention name. Take, for example, what happened when the incumbent governor in Ekiti State now was there the first time. There were a series of killings that took place in that state at that period in time and order. And investigations, so to say.
So the answer to the question is that it's a blanket. Immunity is a blanket, actually. There is no exception to what immunity can cover.
I think it was the landed silk.
Even by the very meaning of immunity.
Yes. I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. Let me bring in Peter. Peter is calling in from Warri. Good morning, Peter.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Concerning the issue of Yahaya Bello and the double registration saga, one begins to wonder, with the new advancements in technology that INEC brought about, that's talking about the card reader, I'm wondering how possible it is for somebody to have double registration. That's one. Then, number two, Yahaya Bello, in one of your programs I watched, I think Journalist Hangout, Abajide was talking about how the governor has owed about 16 months of salary in Kogi State.
18 months.
Uncle Yori is a pity. When the former governor died, the one that was elected under the APC platform, when he passed away, the judiciary, because of the rumbles at that time, foisted Yahaya Bello on Kogi people, somebody that they did not cast a single vote for. When you look at the whole situation, it's such a huge worry because I believe the judiciary is one of the problems that we are facing. Because Imagine people having a governor that they never voted for. So how do you think that person is going to behave while in office?
All right. All right.
You know? So, Uncle Yori, well, I don't know how possible it is for INEC to say or allege that somebody has double registration. I believe the matter should be thoroughly investigated.
Indeed.
And the State House of Assembly should also rise up and do what is right and save the people of Kogi from the troubles they are facing right now.
Okay, Peter, thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call, Peter. I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. A double registration, voter registration charge against the governor of Kogi State, and we're looking at that. We haven't been able to get the governor to comment, neither has his chief press secretary been able to comment. Emeka, let me just ask you, as one of the two lawyers we have here, theoretically now, if any governor anywhere in the country, if these allegations that are against this one, if they were to be proved, and the law wanted to throw the book at the person, what's the liability there?
I think a quick look at the Electoral Act, you can figure out 3 offenses, 3 charges that INEC can use to proceed against the governor after his immunity has elapsed. One of them is possessing unlawfully possessing a voter's card unlawfully, because the second one is possessing it unlawfully, and that is 2 years imprisonment. Okay. Or payment, or option of fine of 500,000, or both. The other one is if you procure, if you by yourself or through any other person procure registration of yourself knowing that you are doing the wrong thing, that's 1 year or 100,000.
Okay.
So he has procured himself.
So we got 3 years so far.
Yes. Then the other one, lastly, if you hinder another person from registering a voter, he has hindered other people from being registered by recalling the machine from the local government headquarters to government house. That is 5 years imprisonment or 500,000 naira. So at least these 3 charges, 2 years, 1 year, 5 years. That's a total of 8 years imprisonment that ordinarily, if in a Senate crime, they will be compiling these charges and
that's a serious, it's a very, very serious offense. Yes, it's a very, very serious offense.
Offenses, more than one offense.
Ibrahim is calling in from Kebbi State. Good morning, Mr. Ibrahim.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I'm calling from Kebbi State, Breeding Kebbi, sir.
We're glad to have you.
Fine, sir. How is your guest? Your guests are welcome. Well done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My contribution to this case about Uncle Yeri, please. Make una remember that a case denied is a case delayed. One thing Nigeria should know is only one thing. The Bible tells us that the judges should be judged, and their penalty will be very, very severe. It's unfortunate that in Nigeria here, judges don't do what was right. You people said it before, that Farake was the immediate governor of Kogi State. But unfortunately, when they go to court, because she did everything to Yahaya Bello, who don't even participate in anything about the election. You see what is yielding now. Is this how Nigeria will go forward? Is this how a common man like me will have hope in politics of this country? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Ibrahim. Somebody brought up the point that, well, if this was not much more serious than that, and if there was time for pettiness, then they wonder what Tinubu will be laughing last now. And there's that aspect. Well, the reason, of course, is that it's clear what Tinubu's preference was at the time which seems to follow logical routes, but the party in its supremacy mode decided otherwise. And now here we have this mess on our hands that the party still has to, you know, just mop up one way or the other. I don't know what they can do. Can they mop this up? Can they sweep it under the carpet? Or can they work through it?
I suspect that they might want to walk through it. They would find a way, just in the usual Nigerian pattern, wombu and fumble, delay this matter.
Sorry, first of all, let me bring in Mazi Koroafo from Arochukwu so that you can just, you know. Mazi, good morning.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests in the studio. Now, my own question is this, how did he vote in the first place as a gubernatorial candidate? Because this issue of INEC saying that they are going to punish the staff, according to newspaper, the staff should not be punished. One, when anytime a governor comes into a polling booth to vote, nobody cares to check his card, whether the name on the card is yes, whether it's never appear in the card. Everybody's job is doing eye service. So the staff there should not be a victim of circumstances. They don't discuss. The INEC themselves should blame themselves. One, the young man did his election in Abuja, and he came to Kogi State and voted during the gubernatorial election. Now they are doing the state election. He has gone back to do so. All these issues are that these kind of discrepancies or the problems of INEC, they said they are operating a system known as the ICT. Now when you register in Sokoto, everything will appear in the headquarters. These are propaganda. They have to sit down and arrange their house in order, not to be carrying their problems to affect the staff who are just there to earn their own daily bread. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day in Arochukwu yourself.
So internally within the party now, there clearly must be two tranches. Let me not say factions. There must be two tranches. Those that wanted Bello and those that thought the right thing to do was to put Faleke there. Now everybody, they're just going to be looking at each other now, right?
Yes, they will be. You know, when that debate was going on and all that, it was very clear that certain persons took the decision to impose Yahaya on Kogi State, not based on merit, not based on qualification, but based on political expediency. They thought that somebody's empire was getting too much expanded.
All
and then they must, exactly. So they must cut him to size. And now this is haunting them now, because these are things that they never prepare. Ordinarily, even when you want to present a candidate, you scrutinize the candidate. You ask so many questions. You want to see his credentials. I'm not too sure that the party had the patience to look at this candidate before. All that they were just interested in is to cop somebody and then you see, the issue is this. Like one of the callers said, the judiciary is also culpable in some of this, just as the party was culpable. It was a very, very hot debate when all of this was going on. People like us say, look, some of the decisions that are coming from some of our courts today are very, very worrisome. In the sense that sometimes you look at what the rulings and decisions or the judgment are, especially from the Supreme Court, and they appear to be a kind of mere mechanical interpretation of the law. What we have seen today is worse than what happened in the Rotimi Amechi's case, in which somebody never participated in the election, and even during the voting days and all that, instigated his own people to even vote for the PDP and not the APC. As a candidate, now becoming the inheritor of somebody else's votes and all that. When you are interpreting the law, my own belief, I mean, my take has always been that, one, you are looking at the core letters of the law, you're also looking at the customs of the people and all that. And then there's the deduction of equity. When you look at all these things and all that, James Faleke fits the P. But the Supreme Court merely looked at the core letters of the law and then came up with that very, very crude interpretation of the law that is now ending the whole nation. Haunting all of us as
Mr. Yakub, thank you very much for holding on. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Mr. Yori. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm from Kogi State.
Okay.
My name is Elaji Yakubu.
Thank you for calling.
This issue of Yahaya Bello, if like the lawyer earlier said, if not because he has pocketed the National Assembly, this is enough to impeach him. After the Supreme Court did what they do to us, the person that did not vote, that he has registered in Abuja, come and become our governor. It's only in this country that this can happen. Just because somebody is supporting him, and that is the reason why our national leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I have my respect for him all the time. Because he's always on the right path and follow the truth. But what did the party do? They push us to somebody that did not even vote for himself. Did not even vote for the party. I'm not happy with what is happening.
Indeed.
And if the House of Assembly, if they are serious with themselves, they should impeach him. He should be impeached. It's not about the law.
All
and
right,
that's why
then.
he's not doing anything in that state. He's owing salary for 15 months, doing the screening upon screening. Is he well, before he was born, people that are in the national in the service there, he come and be screened that they are ghost workers, keeping people hungry everywhere. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in, Alhaji Yakub. These are not the best of times for Governor Bello. And we wait anxiously to hear from him. What does he have to say for himself? Because it's a cloud over his head, even as you have explained that because of the law the way it is, the Constitution the way it is, he's going to be able to continue in office. But you're encumbered. Everybody knows that you are carrying this weight around. So it's tough, right?
But they know Nigerians have short memory.
Oh, dear.
So politicians, they hide under it.
Well,
that, they will soon forget.
Well, we hope not. We hope not, because this is a very, very serious
Bukola Saraki is carrying his own weight. So many of them.
So it's like we're almost used to this.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We've completely run out of time. Thank you very much, Chukwemeka Eze. Thank you very much, Tunde Kalawole.
Thanks for having us, sir.
Appreciate the privilege of having your perspectives. Do have a great weekend. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.